Hi students, welcome to the classes of Computer Networks. In the last class, we have discussed the basics of computer networks. As we know, computer networks consists of computer networks hardware and computer networks software. In the last class, many of the topics we have discussed in computer networks hardware. In this class, we would like to discuss about computer networks models. The models are developed in the form of software. So our discussion topic today is network models. We begin this topic with layered tasks. We use the concept of layers in our daily life. For example, we consider two friends who communicate through postal mail. When one friend wants to send a letter to another, it follows three layers as shown in the slide. Once the message is passed through three layers, the message will be moved to the other side. The message is undergone through three layers before the delivery of the message to the recipient. From this, what we can understand is a layer is a level of abstraction. That is, it manages a part of total complexity. With this introduction, let's discuss about the OSI model. ISO stands for the International Standards Organization, is a multinational body dedicated to worldwide agreement on international standards. An ISO standard that covers all aspects of network communications is the Open System Interconnection Model, OSI. Here ISO is the organization and OSI is the model. The purpose of the OSI model is to show how to facilitate communication between different systems without requiring changes to the logic of the underlying hardware and software. The OSI model is not a protocol. It is a model for understanding and designing a network architecture that is flexible, robust, and interoperable. The ISO OSI model consists of 7 layers, which are from bottom to top: physical layer, data link layer, network layer, transport layer, session layer, presentation layer, and application layer. Now let's move forward. The screen shows the interaction between the layers in the OSI model. Figure shows the peer-to-peer process in ISO OSI. The 7 layers in this model can be thought of as 3 subgroups, and those are network support layers, consists of physical, data link, and network layers. User support layers consists of session layer, presentation layer, and application layer. And the layer 4, transport layer, links the two subgroups. The passing of the data and the network information gets down through the layers of sending device and back up through the layers of the receiving device is made possible by an interface between each pair of adjacent layers. The slide clearly shows that the slide clearly shows how a message is sent from a device A to device B through intermediate nodes. When a device acts as a sender, the application layer interacts with the user and takes the data from the user. Thereafter, the message will go through presentation layer, session layer, transport layer, network layer, and data link layer. After that, the message is moved physically to the other side. On the receiving end, as soon as the message is delivered, it goes through the data link layer, network layer, transport layer, session layer, presentation layer, and application layer. The application layer present the message to the recipient. The standards of the data unit at different layers are: at physical layer, the unit of the data is bit. At data link layer, the unit of the data is frame. At network layer, the unit of the data is packet. At a transport layer, the unit of the data is transport protocol data unit, TPDU. At session layer, the unit of the data is session protocol data unit, SPDU. At a presentation layer, the unit of data is presentation protocol data unit, PPDU. And at application layer, the unit of the data is application protocol data unit. Now we look for the organization of the layers. Let us look at the screen. It shows how the different layers are organized. At the center side, each layer is responsible to take the data from upper layers, adds control data as header, and sends this whole data to the lower layers. That is, it performs encapsulation. One layer, data link layer, which adds not only header but a trailer too. At the receiving side, it performs decapsulation. At each layer, the header is removed and the message is sent to the upper layer. At physical layer, the message is in the form of zeros and ones, will be converted into signals. Now we look for functions of layers. Now we look for the functions of the physical layer. The physical layer takes the data from the data link layer and it adds the header and it will be sent to the transmission lines. In the transmission lines, the message is in the form of signals will be sent to the other side. At the receiving side, the signals are converted into bits and send them to the receiver's physical layer. The receiver's physical layer removes the header and the data is sent to the next higher layer, which is data link layer. The physical layer is responsible for movement of individual bits from one hop to the next. The responsibilities of the physical layer are the data transmission mode, topology, line configuration, signals, encoding, interfaces, and medium. Here, topology means it is the arrangement of nodes in some particular form, and signals are of two types, analog signals and digital signals. Now we look for the functions of the data link layer. Here the data link layer is responsible for taking the data from its upper layer called the network layer. It adds header and a trailer to the message and send it to the lower layer called the physical layer. At the receiving end, the data link layer is responsible for taking the data from physical layer, removes header and a trailer and send it to the upper layer, which is the network layer. The data link layer is responsible for moving frames from one hop to the next. The responsibilities of the data link layer are node to node delivery, addressing, access control, flow control, error control, and synchronization. Addressing means addressing is necessary to identify the systems. Flow control is the speed of the processing the data at the receiving end is more than the speed of the processing of the data at the sending side. Look at the screen. It shows an example of how hope-to-hope delivery is functioning. In the network, A, D, F are end systems and B, C, D are routers. When a message is destined to E from A, the message will be going through A, B, E and F. Now we look for the functions of the network layer. Here the network layer is responsible for taking the data from its upper layer called the transport layer. It adds header to the message and send it to the lower layer called the data link layer. At the receiving end, the network layer is responsible for taking the data from data link layer, removes header and send it to the upper layer called the transport layer. The network layer is responsible for the delivery of individual packets from the source host to the destination host. The responsibilities of the network layer are source to destination delivery, logical addressing, routing, address transformation, and multiplexing. Source to destination delivery means from sender workstation to the receiver workstation. Logical addressing means it is also called as IP address. Routing is the main functionality of the network layer. Multiplexing means combining two or more transmissions. Now look at the screen. It shows an example of how source to destination delivery is functioning. In the network, A, D, F are end systems and B, C, D are routers. When a message is destined to E from A, the message will be going through A, B, E and F. But the ultimate source and destination are A and F. At each intermediate system, the message is verified as whether the message is destined to itself or not. If it is, the message will be absorbed. Otherwise, the message will be forwarded to the next. This is clearly shown in the screen. Now we look for the functions of the transport layer. Here the transport layer is responsible for taking the data from its upper layer called the session layer. It adds a header to the message and send it to the lower layer called the network layer. At the receiving end, the transport layer is responsible for taking the data from network layer, removes header and send it to the upper layer called the session layer. The transport layer is responsible for the delivery of a message from one process to another. The responsibilities of the transport layer are end-to-end message delivery, service port addressing, segmentation and reassembly, and connection control. Now look at the screen. Clearly it shows that an application program on one side is communicating another application program on another side. An application program is called as a process, so it is called as process to process communication. Now we look for the functions of the session layer. The session layer is the network dialog controller. It establishes, maintains, and synchronizes the interaction between the communicating devices. The session layer is responsible for dialog control and synchronization. The main responsibilities of this layer are session management, synchronization, dialog control, and graceful close. Now we look for the functions of presentation layer. The presentation layer is concerned with the syntax and semantics of the information exchanged between two systems. The presentation layer is responsible for translation, compression, and encryption. That is, the specific responsibilities of this layer are translation, compression, encryption, and security. Now we look for the functions of application layer. The main responsibilities of this layer is to allow access to network resources. The application layer is responsible for providing services to the user. The main responsibilities of this layer are network virtual management, file access, transport and management, mail services, and directory services. Now we see the overview of functions of layers. Physical layer. Its responsibilities are to transmit bits over a medium and to provide mechanical and electrical specifications. Data link layer. Its responsibilities are to organize bits into frames and to provide hope-to-hope delivery. Network layer. Its responsibilities are to move packets from source to destination and to provide internetworking. Transport layer. Its responsibilities are to provide reliable process-to-process message delivery and error recovery. Session layer. Its responsibilities are to establish, manage, and terminate sessions. Presentation layer. Its responsibilities are to translate, encrypt, and compress data. Application layer. Its responsibilities are to allow access to network resources. So far we have discussed about the ISO OSI model. Let us stop this session and we continue the topics in the next class. Before leaving out from this session, let's look at the FAQs. Here the question is, what is a layered task model? Discuss about the ISO OSI layered model with its neat sketch. And you have an assignment question. The question is, discuss the functionalities of each layer in ISO OSI model. All of you have to answer this question and send your assignments to my mail account. Thank you.